What's going on, guys? Welcome to Forward Momentum. Today we'll be installing this FIPK system or K&N Fuel Injection Performance Kit on a Lexus GS400. I'm going to walk you through all the steps you need to know about removing that stock intake system and replacing it with this complete kit. There are horsepower gains with this kit and also torque gains. They included a dyno sheet, and I've seen other dyno sheets that verify this, but there's a trade-off. You're going to lose a little bit of low-end horsepower and torque below 3,500 RPM. To remove your stock intake system, you're going to want to remove the engine cover, and if you have a strut bar, pull that off. And then from there, it's going to be getting rid of the intake pipe, the ram air system, and the upper and lower air cleaner assembly. You're going to want to disconnect the mass airflow sensor as well, and the associated vacuum lines on the back part of this resonator. That's it. Make sure you disconnect that negative battery cable. Okay, I got everything out. Now you're going to want to get this mass airflow meter out. I'll just call it the math. It's pretty simple. Make sure you save all your old parts. This thing has a gasket on it. If you ever want to go back to stock, you're going to want to save everything. Make sure you save that. You don't need to run that plus the other foam gasket that they included with the kit. So just put it in a plastic bag and save all these parts. So this is basically what you're going to get with the kit. Right here they include a dyno sheet, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it closer, but they're claiming a peak horsepower gain of 9.34 and a peak torque gain of 8.2. The gains do begin starting right around the 4,000 RPM mark. You can start to really feel those come on. They also include, of course, instructions, which, to be quite honest, I found to be a little bit archaic. Some of these pictures are, black and white. I mean, how much is it really to include color pictures? And they're pixelated. All in all, they're written well and they're easy to follow. I can just look at this drawing and easily put it in and out. This is the heat shield, and you can see that I've added some reflective heat tape to try to keep a lot of that radiant heat away from the intake. This is the cone filter that comes with the kit. Up here is your intake pipe. We'll get into some of these fittings, which they are already installed. You want to use some of that pipe thread sealant on these, and you don't want to torque these all the way down. You'll see that in the instructions. Next up would be this gasket, and this is for the mass airflow sensor. And what they tell you is to install this sticky side on the mass airflow sensor, but I'm actually going to flip that requirement. I'm going to install sticky side here on the intake pipe, and the reason I'm going to do that is because if you want to go back to stock, you're going to have to peel this thing off and get a new one if you're going to sell this kit. So that makes it a pain. So why not just put sticky side on here? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they said that. So I'm going to do it that way. And then, of course, you got hardware. They include everything you need. You get some vacuum lines that are extended because now they need to reach farther. You get some different mounting points to install, and I'll show you that. Hose clamps, of course, a number of them. This bracket I've already put on. Let's take a look. So you can see that, you'll have to install that. And what it does is it holds this intake pipe in place, and then the cone filter's on this side. Okay, there you have it. That's the kit, the instructions. You get some stickers and some other little things that come with it. But all in all, it's a very complete kit, and it's pretty easy to install once you get everything kind of pieced out together. These barbed hose fittings for air compressors and accessories and tools fit right here perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap those threads with tape. Make sure it's sealed, and I'm going to install it in there. There you go, all wrapped up. See if it's 14 or not. Oh, it is. And it just looks better, doesn't it? You don't want to over torque that because you've got plastic here with the receiving nut. So just be careful. If you want to do that upgrade, you can. This is what the plastic one looks like. This is that thread tape I was mentioning earlier. Prep this surface to receive this sticky gasket. So I'm just going to use an isopropyl wipe. I'm going to stick it here, I'm going to line up the holes, and then I'm going to install the mass airflow sensor on. Good time to clean it, by the way. If you have some mass airflow cleaner, you just spray it right in there, let it dry out. I already cleaned mine, so I'm not going to show that. You don't want to over torque anything. You're going into plastic here. Make sure that you use common sense when you torque stuff down. Next up, we're going to install these mounting points. Pretty much hand tighten those on, and then there's another one that goes right down here, and that's how the heat shield is going to mount up. Next up, you're going to want to add these nuts on there. Just leave them loose for now, because you're going to probably move the heat shield around a little bit. Next, we're going to put the intake tube on. Make sure that you orient these clamps with the fasteners or the fastener heads the way you want, so that you can possibly undo it with the engine cover on. Because if you make them go under, then you're not going to be able to get this off ever. And then you want to slip the silicone on like that. This one's already tight. Again, no need to over tighten too much. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this guy up. I think these are 8mm heads, so if you want to use a ratchet or something, you can do that. So it's secure. Everything feels good underneath. Alright. Next, you're going to install the crankcase ventilation tube. It goes on there like that. Make sure you put your hose clamp on first. We're going to fit it onto this awesome new fitting I found. Now, if you want to be triple sure, you can kind of push it up over like that, and then get your screwdriver, loosen this guy up a little bit, slip it on top there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten her up, and because this isn't plastic, I can tighten up pretty good. It's going onto a brass barbed hose fitting. This is the one I just installed right here. Going to run all the way up. It's going to plug in right there. Alright, next we'll install this guy. Make sure the clamp's still on there. It's pretty easy. It just kind of fits right on, and then the clamp on right there like that. Just to make a clean install here, I'm going to take a zip tie. I'm going to take these 3 lines and I'm going to gently secure them together. Just kind of makes everything look better. There's no need to over tighten this. Probably like that is good. And then you want to go ahead and snip off this zip tie and try to avoid making a sharp edge. Nobody likes to cut themselves on these things. Okay, next up is the cone filter installation onto the intake tube. Make sure your hose clamp is loose enough to allow you to fit this on. And again, put it in a good spot so you have some access. Next, you're going to secure the intake tube to this clamp, this half shell, and then I'm going to go ahead and slip it around that. And then you're going to have to hold it together while you turn it, and it should catch. And basically, you want access to that fastener head, just like I said before. Feels secure. Now we need to fasten this the rest of the way, and we should be good to go. Before I put the engine cover back on, I'm actually going to go ahead and connect the negative battery cable. It's probably going to run rough, but that's okay. It's going to be relearning. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. So for me, this modification is worth it simply because these vehicles are so limited in the modifications you can do to them. So for $350, I don't think that you can get a another mod that gains you 9 horsepower and similar torque values than this. Perhaps exhaust, but I mean headers you're looking at 1500 with tune. So, you know, for the money, I'd give a thumbs up. I'd say this is a good modification to do.